بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Hadith number 17 inshallah. الحديث السابع عشر عن أبي يعلى شداد بن أوس رضي الله تعالى عنه عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: إن الله كتب الإحسان على كل شيء، فإذا قتلتم فأحسنوا القتلة، وإذا ذبحتم فأحسنوا الذبحة، وليحد أحدكم شفرته وليرح ذبيحته. تفضل يا رفيق. Are you doing the English today? It's okay, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it, it's okay. So Shaddad ibn Aws radiallahu anhu narrated that the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, said, indeed Allah has prescribed ihsan for everything. I'm not going to translate the word ihsan word to word yet. Indeed Allah has prescribed ihsan for everything. So when you kill, you must make the killing in the best manner. It's scary. When you slaughter, make your slaughter in the best manner. Let one of you sharpen his knife and give ease to his animal in order to reduce its pain. Narrated by Imam Muslim. So this is an authentic hadith, right? It's in Sahih Muslim. And the main theme of this hadith is ihsan. Ihsan, well, how would you translate the word ihsan? How would you translate ihsan?
Like it's in the hadith number 2.
In hadith number 2, perfect. Well, exactly. So in ihsan in hadith number 2, what was the definition of ihsan in hadith number 2? Abdul Malik.
أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك.
أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه, perfect. فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. To worship Allah as if you see Him. But if you don't see Him, He is in fact, or He in fact sees you. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the definition of ihsan in hadith number 2. Is this the definition of ihsan in our hadith tonight? So what does that teach us? I can just tell you ihsan is kindness. Ihsan is perfection. Let's move on. That teaches us that sometimes you have the same exact word in Arabic language. The same spelling. The same spelling. And the same tashkil, the same harakat. Fatha, dhamma, kasra. But when you take that word in a certain context, it means something. And when you take the same exact word in another context, it means something totally different. That's right in front of our eyes here. So in hadith number 2, ihsan is to worship Allah as if you see Him. In hadith number 18, ihsan is perfection. Ihsan is perfection. And it also can be translated as kindness. I really love things like these. How sometimes you have the same word mentioned in 2 different contexts and it means two different things. So perfection. So our hadith tonight is about trying to reach the excellence in everything you're doing. You need to be a perfect student, to be a good representative of Islam. You need to be an excellent worker, employee. You work your office hours, all your hours. You work your hours because Allah said, أَوْفُوا بِالْعُقُودِ. Honor your obligation. You're paid for that job. If you don't want to take it, don't sign. So you're a student, you have to be a perfect student. As a Muslim, strive to be a perfect student. You want to play soccer? You have to be a perfect soccer player. Yeah, right? Like me. And they win every time. That's a lie actually. So just to do your best to be great soccer player. So Islam is teaching us to be perfect. So if you see a Muslim who's not doing well in any part of his life, that's not a proper implementation of Islam. Some people, you see them perfect in their spirituality. You come into the masjid 5 times a day. But in their finance, they're not doing well. They keep borrowing money from people. Or people are doing so well financially in their job, but in their akhlaq, they're arrogant. Or some people that are doing so well financially and in akhlaq, but when it comes to taking care of their diet, they are not doing that properly. You know, in every single aspect of your life, physically, financially, spiritually, mentally, educationally, akhlaq, you have to make sure you strive towards excellence. That is what that is about today. We can just end the class today and go home if you want. I think you want lollipop, guys. Who wants to have a lollipop? Okay, can someone please take this out and go around and give lollipops to people? You know, can I take it as you answer my questions? No. Who can take this out, please, just to go around and give it to you? Come. Come. Yeah, just take it back and go around and give each one a lollipop. Lollipop and then give a sister as well. Okay? Yeah, it's safe for you to go to the sister. Yeah, do it. We're almost done. Okay. إن الله كتب. الكتابة, when you read the word كتب or كتابة in Islam, there are two different types of كتابة. Please write this down. Two different types of كتابة. I'm not going to focus on everything in the hadith, but I'm going to mention what's important. Two types of كتابة. Number one is كتابة قدرية. Please write this down. كتابة قدرية. Please don't ask. Just give them one and go. And move on. Yeah, don't ask. What are you doing? Give everyone. But without asking, because of instruction. So, كتابة قدرية. That's number one. Did everyone take a look? No. Okay. You need to help us. You can do it. The second type of كتابة شرعية. كتابة قدرية. Number two, كتابة شرعية. Please write this down, guys. كتابة قدرية وكتابة شرعية. So what is the difference between them? الكتابة القدرية. Remember when we studied qadar together? We said qadar has 4 components. What is the first component of qadar? Ilm, knowledge. The second component of qadar of Allah is what? Al-kitaba, writing. The second component of qadar of Allah, the third component is what? Al-mashi'a, willing for that to happen. Number 4 is al-khalq, to create that thing that was written, and He will for that to happen, and then it starts to happen. That's the creation. So this is the kitaba, that means kitaba qadariya. So kitaba qadariya has to happen. What about the sisters? No, you're gonna do it. Come. Sisters as well, please. Thank you so much. What's your name? Huh? Hassan. Beautifully Hassan. Hassan, inshallah. Okay. So al-kitaba al-qadariya. Sisters, yeah, Hassan, okay? Don't forget about the sisters. Al-kitaba al-qadariya is al-qadar. It has to happen. Like what? In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, chapter 21, Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 105, He said, وَلَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا فِي الزَّبُورِ مِنْ بَعْدِ الذِّكْرِ أَنَّ الْأَرْضَ يَرِثُهَا عِبَادِيَ الصَّالِحُونَ. The word katabna here means what? Surely, following the heavenly record, the Quran, we decreed in the Zabur, the scripture, my righteous servants shall inherit the land. My righteous slaves, my righteous servants shall inherit the land. Question for you, quickly, and then we're going to move on. Do you think Muslims today have already inherited the land? Are we leading the world? Yes or no? No. So this means we are not righteous enough. Let's move on back. Keep talking about khilafah بقى. We want to khilafah. Khilafah and you're not often righteous. Allah said here in chapter 21, verse 105, if you are qualified, you're going to inherit the land. You cannot inherit the land because you're not qualified. We just like to talk about certain topics. Very easy. وَلَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا فِي الزَّبُورِ. So number one is كتابة قدرية. It must happen. If you're righteous, you're going to be able to lead. You're going to have leadership and dominance. You're going to inherit the land of Allah. Because the land belongs to Allah. Servants, us, children of Adam, we belong to Allah. If you're righteous, you're going to inherit the land. You're going to be a leader. If you're not a leader, this means you're not righteous. خلاص بقى. خلاص بقى. Enough talking about nonsense. You have to be righteous first, and Allah is going to do it if He wants. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. The second type of kitaba is kitaba shar'iyya. Kitaba shar'iyya doesn't have to happen. Kitaba shar'iyya means obligations. When Allah talked about siyam, what did He say? Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyam. Siyam is kutiba alaykum, on you believers, has been prescribed. Which means it's an obligation. But does that mean that every single Muslim is going to fast? Does it mean every single Muslim is going to fast? When Allah says siyam is kutiba, on you, does it mean everyone is going to fast? No. Some people are not going to fast. So kitaba, when you see the word kitaba, sometimes it's kitaba qadariyya, it has to happen, qadr of Allah. Sometimes it's kitaba shar'iyya. That's an obligation, it doesn't have to happen. Allah is asking you to do it, but it doesn't have to happen really in reality. Okay. Another point. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he mentioned some examples of perfection or ihsan, or kindness. He mentioned فَإِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقِتْلَةِ. So when you kill, you must make the killing in the best manner. وَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَ. Let's give you an example, because بِالْمِثَالِ يَتَّضِحُ الْمَقَالِ. What does it mean? If you kill, you should kill in a best manner. You know. For example, let's say there is a dog that's harmful to people, and you wanna kill that dog because it's harmful to people. It's getting very sick. It can't last any longer. Every day it gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and you have to kill it. You send it to some specialist, some humane society, or dog rescue, whatever, and then you ask them to put it down. You ask them to put it down. Do you have different options? The first option is they can use a gun and shoot it. That's number one option. Number two option is that they can poison the dog or the cat. The third option is that they can expose the cat or the dog to an electric shock. Which one of these options should be implemented? Second one, which is to poison it? Gun?
There's different types of poison. It could be
The third option was to expose it to electric shock. Yeah. Electric shock by electricity. Or this burning, you can burn it. So which one should be implemented? Poison. Poison it. Okay, who says poison it? So evil, subhanAllah. Look at this class. You all want to poison cats. Okay. You should do some research and find what is the easiest way to kill the animal that the animal is not going to feel the pain. It looks very interesting from here when you see everybody putting the lollipop in his mouth. It's very interesting from here, from this angle. Electric shock. That is basically the fastest one. Because if you shoot the animal, it's going to suffer for a long time. It's going to be in pain for a long time. And if you poison it, it's going to be in pain for longer, maybe perhaps. But if you kill it by electricity, that's going to be the easiest and the fastest. So if you have to put an animal down, I have to do this to my cat at some points. We used to have cats. I talked to you about dogs many times. We got the dog and we returned the dog next day. I can't tell you the story at the end. But what happened to our cat is basically Lucy. She became very sick for a very long time. Stopped eating, losing a lot of weight, very weak. And then we had to put her down. We don't know exactly how she was put down. We don't know how he did it, but we have to do it, right? So إذا قتلتم فأحسنوا القتلة. If you have to kill something that's halal to kill, like a harmful dog or an animal that's against that you have to kill, in this case, try to do it in the best manner. Even in killing. So killing is supposed to be something that you don't like. Who likes killing here? Who likes killing in this class? Who likes to fight here in this class? Allah says, كتب عليكم القتال. كتب عليكم القتال. كتب القتال, fighting. كتب on you. Sometimes in jihad, you have to defend your homeland, you have to defend your family, you have to defend your property, you have to defend your religion. So you have to do this. So Allah said, كتب عليكم القتال. وهو كره لكم. And I know you hate it. Allah is saying, I know you Muslims, you hate to fight. So as a believer, I am supposed to hate fighting. People who like to fight are not normal. There's something wrong with them. Because who said that yet? Allah says, وَهُوَ كُرْهَ لَكُمْ. Fighting is something that you hate. It's hated. It's disliked. كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالِ وَهُوَ كُرْهٌ لَكُمْ. So we hate to fight. We hate to kill. But if you ever have to do it to defend yourself, or to kill an animal in the example that we mentioned, in this case you have, even in killing, you have to do it in the best manner. How beautiful this religion is, even that. Now that's how you do ihsan in killing. Now, how can I do ihsan in slaughtering? We're going to talk about the biha now. There are 4 conditions, guys, that I would like to mention. And if you have any questions after this, we can answer, inshallah. 4 conditions for the zakah. Guys, look at me. Look at me. What is the difference between zakah, and zakah? Thank you. Now, these are the different letters, right? But what is the difference in meaning? Yes, zakah is zal. Zakah is dal. Za and za. What is the difference in meaning? We have both in Islam.
Something related to pain.
One of them is related to killing.
Yeah.
Which one?
The za. Like the one.
Remove the lollipop.
In Urdu, it's like zak means to give pain, to entice pain. Zak, like how you write ra and then the dot on it. Yeah.
That's to kill or give pain?
That's to give pain.
Okay. Any other opinion? Zakah and zakah. Thank you so much for that.
Zakat means intelligence.
Zakat. Zakat with a hamza. Right? But I'm saying zakah, there's ta marbuta at the end. That becomes a ha when we stop. Okay guys, I don't know how we do it. What is zakah? You pay zakah.
Yeah.
You pay zakah, right? So zakah is the money that you give, the obligatory zakah. But zakah is when you do tazkiyah of an animal to be able to eat it. When you slaughter an animal properly according to Sharia, that's called zakah. Got it? You guys got it? Yes? Okay. So how to do zakat to animals now? That's my question. How can I do zakat to animals? Because Allah said, وَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَ. I want to eat. beef or lamb or whatever. So I have to do this in zakat. With zakat. Huh? So what is the first condition? Number 1. أهلية الذابح. The person who's slaughtering the animal, he has to be qualified himself. That's number 1 condition. The person who's slaughtering the animal, he must be a Muslim or what? Or Ahlul Kitab. So he has to be a Muslim or Ahlul Kitab. We're not talking about exceptions here. We talked in the past, first few hadith, about the exceptions. We talked about McDonald's, we talked about Burger King, we talked about all this stuff, right? Remember? We're not going to repeat what we said. Now we're going to go to the basics. Number 1, a person who's slaughtering the animal, he himself has to be a Muslim or Ahlul Kitab, which means Muslim, Christian, or Jew. Muslim, Christian, or Jew. What if a Muslim does not pray? Can I eat from his dhabiha?
Yes.
If you say yes, I can, raise your hand. If you say no, I can't because he doesn't pray, please raise your hand. You can't eat from dhabiha that's slaughtered by someone who does not pray. Huh? What's your name? Faiz. Where are you from, Faiz? Where are you from? I haven't seen you before. Where are you from? You're from Canada?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me the answer then to the question.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you didn't understand the question because I haven't seen you before. So now you said if somebody slaughtered an animal and he doesn't pray, I can't eat from that animal. You said that. Why? What is the problem if he doesn't pray?
He doesn't practice Islam properly.
He doesn't practice Islam. Okay, huh?
Well, that means that the animal that is getting slaughtered, it's not halal.
It's not halal? Okay. Okay guys, so basically, what's your name again, Fayyaz? I think you said that because you think if he doesn't pray, he's a kafir.
No.
Okay, so what?
He doesn't practice Islam properly.
Okay, what about Christian? What doesn't practice Islam? The Christian doesn't pray either. But his zabiha is halal for us, right? Okay, so if someone doesn't pray, if you come from the perspective that if he doesn't pray, he's a kafir, you don't eat the zabiha and you're not with us. Because we don't talk about, we don't say that. We follow the opinion that says he's a fasiq. It's a major sin that he has to repent from unless he denies the prayer. Yes, he's a kafir now. If he says prayer is not obligatory anymore, kafir. Come, why are you too late? No problem. So number 1, the person who is slaughtering the animal, number 1, the person has to be a Muslim, Christian, or Jew, even if he doesn't pray. Because Allah said, وَطَعَامُ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ حِلٌّ لَكُمْ وَطَعَامُكُمْ حِلٌّ لَهُمْ in Surah Al-Ma'idah chapter 6, verse 5. Is that Ma'idah chapter 6?
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5?
Exactly.
So chapter 5, verse 5. Awesome. Second condition. The tool that you're using. So the first condition is in the person who's doing it, Muslim, Christian, or Jew. Second condition is in the tool you're using. It has to be something that's a halal to use. To slaughter the animal with. Halal to use like a knife that's made of iron, silver, gold, or even a piece of rock. But you cannot use two things, and I'm not going to go into so much details on this because we don't use this today. People in the past, they used to use a sin, the teeth of some animals. They used to use it to slaughter by this. It's not really used commonly today, at least in Canada. You guys don't do this. And al-ghufar, the hoof of the animal. They use it and they slaughter with it sometimes. They sharpen it and slaughter with it. In the past. I know. We're not gonna go into details. We're gonna skip this part because it's not practical, really. But I need to mention this to you. Because the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, do not slaughter animals by these two things. Do not use that teeth anymore when you start, because he said, أَمَّا السِّنْ فَعَظْمَ, because it's bones. You cannot use bones to slaughter animals either. And then he said, وَأَمَّا الظُّفُرْ, the hoof, فَمُدَ الْحَبَشَ. He said, people of Abyssinia, the non-Muslim of Abyssinia at that time, they used to use the hoof to slaughter animals with. So Muslims, Rasulullah wanted Muslims to have their identity. They do this, you do something different. You are proud of your identity. Don't use their knives. That's made of hoofs.
Isn't it claws instead? Isn't
Claws, yeah, I think that's actually the right translation. Claws. That would be the right translation. Not sure it's really. But you sharpen it, whether it's hooves or a hoof, or basically it's a hoof. And also the claws, definitely, because it's sharp already. Or you sharpen the hoof, right? The Prophet ﷺ also mentioned that al-azm, bones, are the food of jinn. Are you guys scared? So the jinn eat from the bones. So we're not supposed to use it for harm, right?
Is that where some people get the idea that jinns are bacteria?
That's Imam Muhammad Abdul said that. I don't know if that's his theory or not, but he said that. He said that jinn actually are bacteria, are not real things. That's what he said. He said they exist, but they're bacteria. Do we support this opinion? No, we don't. But are we going to hide it? No, we're not. We're going to say it. You like it? It's good for you. You don't like it? Good for you. Whatever. That is mentioned in our tradition by one of the grand Imams of Allah. Shaykh Muhammad was not a child. Right. So number one condition is in the person who is slaughtering, Muslim, Christian, or Jew. Number two, in that tool you're using, it has to be a knife, like a sharp knife. As we said, from iron, silver, gold, or any other material that's not the bones or the claws or hooves or whatever. Okay. Next, the third condition, inharu dam, the blood has to flow. Number three, the blood has to flow. So, which means, can I have the knife and stab the animal and kill it and then eat? Huh?
But the blood still flowing.
Look, I'm gonna basically do this. You want the blood flowing? Okay, I'm gonna get this animal and just cut its belly and then see the blood in front of me and then start eating. Can I do this? Why?
It's like
It has to? Okay, let it drain out.
so because it's
I will stab it. Guys, it's an important question. I will stab the animal, okay? And then it's gonna bleed until it's drained, whatever. And then I'm gonna eat it because it's one of the. I'm a Muslim. I'm using a knife, sharp knife from iron. And can I eat it?
I think you can do it, but still you have to do zabiyah afterwards. Like when we go deer
That's perfect. I'm gonna come back to this right now. But let's see what this
it's not allowed.
Huh?
It's not allowed because just because you stab it doesn't mean it's dead. So according to the Hadith,
the Hassan part.
it's not like the most painless way for it to die.
Okay, great point. He's saying it's not it's not the least painful way. That's not ihsan in the slaughtering. Number one. Number two. What's your name again?
Sorry?
What's your name again?
Hassan.
So Brother Hassan, he got the point. He said, if it's not dead yet, you can slaughter it quickly.
Yeah.
And then eat. Yes, now it's halal. But if it died before you slaughter it, because you have to cut the jugular veins. So the point here is, the third condition is, the blood has to flow through the jugular veins, not through any other part of the body. You stab you're not killing it. And we call this stabbed animal, it has a title in Islam. موقوذة. Allah said in Surah Al-Ma'idah, حرمت عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل لغير الله به والمنخنقة. If you strangle an animal, can you eat it? والموقوذة. You stabbed it. It's mentioned by name in Surah Al-Ma'idah. وَالْمُتَرَدِّيَ fall from a cliff or something. And it fell from a cliff and died. You can see it, right? So al-munkhaniqa, strangle the animal, stab the animal, or you throw it from the balcony and then you go eat it. You know, it's custom. You have to see the blood coming out of it. You like the bloody pop, I can tell you enjoyed it. Okay. Number 4, the fourth condition.
So what about hunting shape? Hunting.
Hunting.
So when you go for a hunting and then
No, hunting
shoot
is
a deer or
different.
something.
Hunting is different.
But isn't that what you do? when
Make sure you
hunting
slaughter the
animal?
animal before it dies when it
Yeah.
comes as well.
Because you
But
can
for
shoot it
example-
and then still go slaughter it.
Exactly. Make sure you slaughter before it dies. Now,
What about birds?
we didn't do the scale. Birds just
Isn't it the same for the birds?
That's kind of done.
Like you can shoot it, but stand on the ground, you can go and then touch the bird.
Do you know, Chef, I said that like one of the women in Ontario, he said that birds are different. It's not belong to the meat section, or it's not belong to the seafood. It's indifferent. So you can eat a bird from anywhere else. Like for example, Burger King's, McDonald's.
no, we're talking about this if you have a big number of birds and you expose all of them to electric shock, and some of them, like very small percentage died. We're not saying if it died, it's halal. That's not what we're saying. We're saying the percentage that dies is very small. That's why we're saying it's halal. But if you hunt a bird, let me look that up. I'll have to look that up. No.
And what about rabbits? It's small animal, it's not a bird.
No, for rabbits, you have to make sure you slaughter the bird dies.
Like the jugular vein.
Yeah, it's not birds or chicken or anything. Yes, you have to make sure it's slaughtered. And deers, goats and sheep and cows and whatever. But for birds, they need to look that up first. Let's get back to the show. Okay?
Where do you shoot the animal?
Exactly, that's what they do today. They shoot the cows, and this is why it's haram to eat the cows, because they shoot it here, not here, right? But if you shoot it, that's not a knife. It's not a sharp. It's not gonna come to jugular veins. It's not gonna do that, right? It's not, because it's also mawquda. That's mawquda. That's like this tested.
What about machines? If they say Bismillah,
We're gonna come to this point right now. Mention the name of Allah. That's the next point. Now.
You know how usually you can do mawquda and then slaughter before he dies? Why is that even an option to begin with? If you know you have to be exact and you have to slaughter as fast and as easy as possible, why is it?
Because how else are they gonna get the animal? They're gonna run after the animal.
Well,
Just for making it life easier, for the sake of making it life easier, that you can hunt the animal and kill it before it dies. I mean, slaughter before it dies.
So wouldn't it torture? Like it's getting tortured when it's.
Huh?
It's getting tortured when you're, because you stabbed it, and even though it's still alive, I feel like you're still torturing it. So isn't that wrong in a way?
That's right. But basically, in the past, people wouldn't be able to live without doing that. Your life is more important than the life of the animal. If you don't eat the animal, the animal's gonna eat you, right?
Okay, but if it's maybe for a lot of the past, that doesn't make sense. But maybe for today, that shouldn't be like shouldn't we do it like the best possible way, similar to what you said about the dog?
Yeah, the best possible way means you go as fast as possible and slaughter the animal before it dies, before it suffers and dies.
So if you don't have to stab it, you're not permissible to stab it, correct? If you don't have to, if you can potentially.
No, you can. No, it's different. Stab the animal to death.
No,
you can't eat it.
As in avoiding stabbing. Like maybe yes, it could make it a little bit more difficult, but maybe in today's age you have better equipment or whatnot to kill it. But it's gonna be a little bit maybe a tougher challenge. What I'm trying to say is I feel like it's wrong in general
To hunt an animal.
to stab it first and then slaughter. Like in today's age.
Like he's saying if there's an option to not stab it and like let it die by slaughtering it, should
You
we do
can
that?
catch the animal and then slaughter it. That will be a good option for you. But in the past, it was a different world. People need to eat to live. Sometimes when the deer is running so fast, you cannot really catch the deer. So you have to hunt the deer. But if you can catch it without harming the animal and slaughter it, that would be the best way for you to do it today. I don't know how we do it today, but you know there are certain ways to catch the animals today and just slaughter them properly. Right?
I know in like my country, like one of the Desi countries in general, you get like a bunch of guys to just wrestle the animal. They do that.
And they keep stabbing the animal.
No. So like what they do is like, for example, if it's a cow, they would get like 12 guys just wrestle it.
That's in Egypt.
Yeah. They wrestle it on the
That's the
ground.
most interesting thing to watch in Egypt.
They wrestle it and like they tie it up and then the judges.
Yeah, we went there. Yeah. I mean, in Egypt, Eid in Egypt means that you go outside after the prayer and you go around to these butchers to watch them kill an animal.
Are we gonna, I don't know if we're gonna get to it or not, but somewhere I saw a fatwa which is like you can kill an animal if you like before you can shoot it without slaughtering it, but you have to say Bismillah. For example, if you have bow and arrow, you shoot it, but when you're shooting it, you say Bismillah.
Yeah, Sheikh Babat, like that's in Sahih Muslim book 34, hadith number 11. I found it. It's the Hatim reported, I asked Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam about hunting. He said, when you shoot your arrow, recite the name of Allah, and if you find the arrow killed, then eat, except when you find it fallen into the water, for in that case you do not know whether it is water that caused its death or your arrow.
Okay, let me do something. This is a separate subject, and I need to prepare myself to talk about it, right? Let me ask a question. How many of you here go hunting? Two people, right? So this is a separate topic. Now we're talking about that the cat of the animal. We just mentioned the four conditions. If you want to talk about hunting, inshallah, I can prepare myself and talk about it, but it's not in our hadith anyways. It can be some other time, inshallah, or on a Friday if you want. Thank you. So number 4. ذكر اسم الله على الذبح, to mention the name of Allah. So that will have 4 conditions. Number 1, the person is slaughtering, Muslim, Christian, or Jew. Number 2, the tool that you're using. Number 3, the blood flowing from the jugular veins. Number 4 is to mention the name of Allah. قال الله ولا تأكلوا مما لم يذكر اسم الله عليه وإنه لفسق. Now, what is the ruling of mentioning the name of Allah upon slaughtering an animal? We have 3 opinions. 3 opinions. The first opinion is, oh, you have to go? Oh, okay. What's going on?
We're Addison. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Where are you living at?
How much time?
Where are you living now? Okay. I will talk to you later, inshallah. Okay. So mention the name of Allah upon slaughtering. All the Hafad are doing. That's no problem. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're good now. Not all the Hafad. Go. Okay, go. Mention the name of Allah. Number 1, Al-Zahiriyya said it's a condition. It's a condition. Shart. It's a shart to mention the name of Allah. Zahiriyya. Number 2, Hanafi, Maliki, and Hanbali, they said it's wajib. You have to mention the name of Allah. It's an obligation. But they said if you forgot to mention the name of Allah, the animal is still halal. Because forgetfulness is, in Islam, is forgiven.
Wajib or farz?
What is the difference?
From what I was, I guess, taught, like wajib is, I guess, one step before farz. It's not completely farz, but it's like super highly recommended.
Okay, yeah. That's the only, exactly, but that's the only in Hanafi school of thought. Okay? In others, all the schools of thought say wajib and fard are the same, except for Hanafis. So now we have Hanafi, Maliki, and Hanbali. They said it's wajib. But if you forgot it, it's okay. The animal is halal. Ash-Shafi'iyya and another narration from Ahmad ibn Hanbal, they said sunnah. It's sunnah in Ash-Shafi'iyya and the other opinion in the Hanbali madhab. So Hanbali has two opinions. One is wajib, to mention Allah's name. The second is sunnah. Sunnah means if you don't do it, even intentionally, it's okay. That's what it means to say sunnah.
So would the Jews and the Christians fulfill that last one?
Let me just give you one narration. One narration here. Imam Bukhari narrated through Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha that some people came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, inna qawman ya'tuna bil-lahm. Sometimes people bring meat to us. You know, you're in a gathering and some people brought meat to you. Or somebody gave you meat as a gift. Somebody distributed meat. You know? Inna qawman ya'tuna bil-lahm. They bring meat to us. لا ندري أذكر اسم الله عليها أم لا. We're not sure if they mentioned the name of Allah while slaughtering it or not. What should we do? Can you guess what he said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? What did he say? He said something very interesting. He said, Sammi Allah wa qul. If you're not sure, you say Bismillah and you eat. You know, it reminds me of something. I used to sometimes go to Burger King and McDonald's. And I used to follow opinion that says it's halal in the past. Last time we went was 7 years ago. Because once I got married, my wife stopped me from going. Because she followed the other opinion. And what she does is, she has to ask. She has to go in person or ask at the drive-thru, how do you guys slaughter it? Is the machine slaughtered or hand slaughtered? And she goes so far with it. So we stopped it altogether. I'm not saying that you can go to Burger King. I don't go anymore. But I'm saying that you don't have to investigate and ask them like a tractor. If you tell them, is it halal or not? Is it dhabiha by hand slaughtered? Is hand slaughtered or it's machine slaughtered? If they give the answer, is to move on. Am I supposed to go ask them, did you mention the name of Allah or not on it? That's my point here. The answer to this is no, because Rasulullah did not tell the Sahaba, if you're not sure about the meat, you should go and ask them. He said, you say Bismillah and eat. خلاص? So now we have 4 conditions of the dhabiha. No.
Isn't in the hadith the situation if someone's coming to you, it's kind of out of your control. In this situation, when you go to drive through whatever, you're voluntarily going there where somewhere is doubt.
Look, it's at the end of the day, it's up to you. You're going to answer Allah yourself. Right? If you want to follow the opinion that says halal, you can even go by yourself and ask. But if you say that, if you follow the opinion that says haram, I mean, don't get it if you are not sure. You know, whatever. No.
Okay, so these are the 4 conditions of like excellence, right?
Yes.
So what if one of them is not met? Like, are we still allowed to eat it or no?
Exactly. So it depends on the situation now. That's where all these questions come up. It depends on the situation. Like now, Harris is asking, if somebody is bringing food to me, I don't have to investigate and ask him, did you pray? I mean, do you pray? If he doesn't pray, I'm not going to eat from it, for example. Did you say the name of Allah? If he says no, I'm not going to eat from it. You know, you're not supposed to ask all these questions, right? But if you want to go a little bit deeper, like Harris asked, ask these questions. Ask these questions, but be sure you don't fall to tabattu' and then see how many of these conditions are fulfilled, how many of them are sunnah, and how many of them are wajib based on your situation and your question. Like for example, you can compromise on mentioning the name of Allah. Because Christians and Jews, perhaps they're not going to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I mean, most likely they're not going to say it. They might mention the name of another god, maybe. Aslan altogether. So what are you gonna do in that situation? That's a different situation now. Is it a sunnah for me or not? No.
What's the difference between the Zahiri and the majority and like Hanbali, Hanafi, and Maliki? When it says, when the Zahiri says it's a condition and they say it's a wajib, what's the difference between the condition?
The difference between a condition and a wajib is that the wajib, if you don't do it, it's a haram. But you have already done it already. But a condition is, it's one of the foundational integral parts of the action itself. Like what? Like when you pray. A condition of the validity of the prayer is al-wudu. Facing the qibla, that's a condition. Which means you cannot aslan pray without having that condition of wudu or the condition of facing the qibla. That's a condition, shart. But al-wajib is something like the middle tashahhud. If you don't do it intentionally, it's haram. If you forgot it, sujood sahw, but the prayer is still valid. And this is why you find in this opinion it took a little bit easy. So it's a wajib, but if you forgot it, it's still halal because forgetfulness is forgiven in Islam. Like for example, Zahiriyya speak about Salatul Jama'ah, praying in Jama'ah. They say it's a condition. You cannot pray at home. You cannot pray by yourself. Zahiriyya say if you pray by yourself, it's not accepted. That's a condition. You have to pray in Jama'ah. But Ahmad ibn Hanbal, for example, says it's wajib. Fardu ayn, individual obligation, which means you can pray by yourself, but it's haram. But the prayer is accepted. So Zahiri says it's not accepted. Ahmad says it's accepted, but you did something haram. That's the difference between a condition, an integral, foundational part of the action, and the wajib, which is something you have to do. But if you don't, the action is still valid, but it's haram that you didn't do it.
How can it be accepted if it's haram?
It's fine. I mean, somebody stole the masjid. He stole a piece of land. And he prayed in that piece of land. He stole a piece of land from someone and he prayed in that piece of land. We call this Ardul Makhsuba. He stole it from someone by force. And he prayed there. Is his prayer accepted? Is his prayer accepted or not?
Yes.
That is haram. Because he prayed in a land that he stole. Somebody stole a car and they drove the car to the masjid. For example, I'm just giving examples because of the questions here. So it's haram to go to the masjid by stolen car, but your parents accept it. But when it is haram, go to the masjid is haram, yes, because it's a stolen car. But the prayer is accepted. You know, it's a maqsooba. Okay? So we'll stop here, inshallah ta'ala. We'll continue next time. And just remind me at some points, guys, to speak about hunting animals because there's a lot of rulings I need to prepare before talking about it. Well, I don't think it's an our hadith. Is that in khairan? Huh?
You said you were going to tell us about the dog.
Huh?
You said you were going to tell us about your dog.
Okay, I will. Next time, we're going to announce the results for the test, inshallah.
Do you have any questions, Sheikh?
Huh?
The questions at the end of the session. Do we have any questions? Do you have any questions?
I have any questions?
Regarding the next hadith, hadith number 18, as we discussed.
Oh, for hadith number 18? No. Next time, inshallah, we'll do that. We're going to do this, inshallah, next time. Right? Okay, we'll do the montage. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته